So, hello everyone. Welcome to the new session of AWS, where we are going to discuss about the public cloud called as AWS and what are the different services that are available in AWS and how we are going to work with those services. This concept we are going to discuss in this entire 40 to 45 working days of the course. Okay. So now, before I go into the concept, I just want to clear you out a few doubts. So first of all, let us discuss about that, and then we will go ahead into the concept of checking out the demos and a few public cloud and private cloud differences, services that are provided by AWS, what is meant by cloud, and what is the difference between on-premises environment and the cloud environment. These are the things that we will discuss. So first and foremost thing is these sessions, whatever you are attending right now. So after demos, the sessions will continue to 40 to 45 working hours. Okay, 40 to 45 working hours. And in this sessions, we are going to discuss about the complete IT infrastructure related services. Okay. And the next one is the session will start at 6 p.m. in the evening and it will go up to 7:15 or 7:30 p.m. Most probably I will try to close the session by 7:15 or else sometimes it will go beyond 7:15 or 7:30. And what are the pre-requirements? So the pre-requirements are, the first and foremost thing is that you need to have a basic understanding about the Linux environment. And then you need to have a basic understanding about the networking environment. What is meant by networking and what are the different types of devices that are there in networking? What is meant by IP address? In which ways we are going to discuss about that. And then you need to have an AWS account. You need to have an AWS account. You can have a AWS free tier account. Today I will tell you what are the requirements to create an AWS free tier account. So to create an AWS free tier account, the first thing what you want here is you need to have a unused credit or debit card. Okay, debit card. Unused means not for everything. So unused credit and debit card for AWS website. So for example, if you use the credit or debit card for creating a previous account, those credit cards are not acceptable. Excuse me. Those credit or debit cards are not acceptable. So previously you have an AWS account. For that AWS account, you used a card. That card is not acceptable for the new account creation. The terms and conditions of this has been changed from July 15, 2025. And you need to have an unused email account for AWS. Again, you cannot provide the same email account to create another AWS account. Already, for example, at chaitanyamanikumar@gmail.com. This is my email account. I can only create one AWS account with that email account. If I want to create another AWS account, then definitely I need to have a brand new email, or else any unused email I need to have. And the third one will be mobile number. It is also a new number. It should not be a old number. Okay. So if you don't have, please take it from your family and return it back to them once the configuration is done. And the fourth one is PAN card. If you are from India, you have to use the PAN card, or else driving license is also okay, or else passport. Like that, they are going to ask for the address proof, and so for the identity proof, they are going to ask you about this. So you need to have a soft copy. Why? You need to upload this soft copy into the AWS website. Okay, so these are the requirements to create an AWS account. If you have these things, we are going to get a 6 months free tier access. I won't call it as free tier access. I will say it as what I can say. $100 will be credited into your account. $100 will be credited into your account. And whatever the $100 that are credited into your account, these $100 can be used for renting the resources in AWS. For example, if I want to create an EC2 instance, what I am trying to do here is I want to deploy or else I want to launch an EC2 instance. So for launching the EC2 instance for T2 medium server, for example, if I take T2 medium server, it will cost me around T3 medium is also fine. It will cost me around, if I take the Linux mission. So the Linux mission will cost around 0.0416 USD per hour. So from this $100 credit, which has been given by AWS, they are going to deduct $0.0416 every hour. How many hours you are running that T2, T3 medium server? Those many number of $0.04 will be deducted from the $100 credit limit. And actually, they will provide another $100 also if you do certain works. If you continuously using the services, they are going to provide another $100 also. I have a doubt in this, so I won't commit that you are going to get the $200. Most probably, you will be getting the $100 fixed for this. So you are going to get $100. And if you are using the services and if you are continuously attending some AWS tech related webinars, then you can get another $100 also. I doubt that $100, but basically you are going to get $100 credit limit. So after 6 months, what is going to happen? Depending on how you are selecting the AWS account. Okay, depending on how you are selecting the AWS account, let me show you that. aws.amazon.com/free. Here there are two plans are available. One is the free plan and the other one is the paid plan. Experience AWS for 6 months without cost or commitment. So receive up to 200 USD in credits. So when you come to the paid plan, it is develop the production ready works with access over 150 AWS services. You will receive up to 200 USD in credits. So for here also you are going to get 200. They are saying 200 USD. But I said, so 100 USD will be credited first and 100 USD will be credited later. Okay. So, and next one is include free usage of selected services. There are some services which are free of cost. They will be included over here. For example, if I take T3 medium, where is it? If I go to T3 medium, here you can see free tier eligible. So you don't need to pay for this T3 medium. Okay, after 6 months only you have to pay for this T3 medium or T3 small, but before 6 months you don't need to pay anything for this server. Okay, so and the next one is paid plan includes the same. No charges incurred unless you switch the plan to paid plan. Pay beyond the credit threshold. Pay beyond credit threshold in the sense, for example, you have the $100. If you are utilizing the servers, if all the $100 are, you utilize the total $100 of credit, then from next minute onwards, you will be charged. Okay, so that's the plan here. And the workloads scale beyond the credit threshold. It is not going to have the workloads beyond the credit threshold, which means that, for example, if I want to run a server and the server running will be going beyond the credit threshold. Credit threshold in the sense you have given with $100. For example, if you run the server will, so if you are having only from the $100 in your credit limit, you are having only $10 are available. If you run a server, if that server will be consuming $12 or else it is going to consume $14, so that thing will not be created over here. So beyond the credit threshold, you cannot create any services. Here you can see workload scales beyond the threshold. So you can, for the paid plan, you can go beyond the credit threshold also. If your complete credits are consumed, still you can have your workloads, but how much you have used, you have to pay for that. And access to all AWS services will not be there in the free plan. It will not be there in the free plan, but in the paid plan, you can have access to all AWS services and the features. So depending on that, it is your take whether you have to select the free plan or paid plan. If you select the free plan, after 6 months, the account is going to be terminated. But you select the paid plan, after 6 months, you will have the account available and you can use the resources also. So that is about what are the different plans that are available and how you can work with those plans. Okay. Now with this, we can create an AWS account and we can run our services, whatever the services that we are going to discuss, like VPC. If I want to create an VPC, if VPC is free of cost, but when we are discussing about VPC NAT gateway, so they are going to charge us somewhere like $0.05 for VPC NAT gateway. VPC endpoints, they are going to, for each endpoint, they are going to charge $0.05. AWS is going to charge that. And VPG will be there, VPN connection, and transit gateway will be there. So like that, whatever the devices that you are taking, so they are going to cut a particular limit of credit for that for every 1 hour. Okay, so if we have the AWS account only, we can do the practicals. Without AWS account, it is not possible to clear out the practicals. So every day we will be having certain practicals. So whatever I am discussing here, everything will be a practical oriented session, not a theoretical session. I'm not going to tell you in a theoretical manner. So if I have to tell you in a theoretical manner, VPC is a network which is created to isolate the another resources. So one company resources can be isolated from by using the VPC. If I say that VPC is completed, VPC pairing means connection of VPCs so that the servers in one VPC will communicate with the servers in the another VPC privately. VPC pairing is also completed. So like that, it is a single word. But if I have to explain you the topic, definitely I need to show you the practical. So the for practical, definitely you need to have the AWS account. So we need to create an AWS account anyways. And then, so these are the requirements, pre-requirements, and you need to have an laptop or desktop with good internet connection. Good internet connection. These are the prerequisites to learn the AWS. Okay. So later, what we are going to discuss today. So today we will be discussing about the types of cloud. And then we will be discussing about the types of cloud services. And if possible, I will try to go through the networking concept. Excuse me. Before I go into that, did anybody have any questions related to the topic which we have discussed? It is not about the topic. We just discussed about what is what and how you can create an AWS account. I don't know how many people are having the AWS account. Can anybody tell me if there is any person who wants to create an AWS account? Please, can you come forward so we can create an AWS account? Otherwise, if you are having the AWS account, that's well and good. Or else, if you know how to create the AWS account, please create an AWS account by yourself. Otherwise, if you want, I can help you out to create your own AWS account. But these are the prerequisites which you need to have to create the account. Okay. So anything else, guys? What you want to ask me? Do you have anything to ask me here? Or can I go into the topic?
We will be getting running notes, Chaitanya, or do we need to note it down?
Please write down. I am not going to dictate all things. Why? Because if I have to dictate everything, so it will take a lot of time. So please follow the video. Whenever you got a time, please prepare the notes. I will provide you the documents, AWS documents for you. Don't worry about that.
Okay, Chaitanya, thanks.
Okay. So you will get the documents, but if you want to understand by yourself, then you can have you can watch the videos and you can prepare the running notes also for your understanding. Okay.
Okay.
Good. So let us discuss about the types of cloud. Before I go into the types of cloud, let us see. For example, you are all working professionals only. You know about the IT in and out. So now let us discuss about, for example, there is a client. Okay, client in the sense there is a banking client or else bank customer is there. Bank customer in the sense the SBI or else ICICI Bank. So there are so many banks are there across the world. These banking people will comes under the non-IT operations. So they are not into the IT. They will be coming under the non-IT. Now, these banks want to create an application, internet banking application. Nowadays, every IT corporate are associated with the banks. There are some companies which are associated purely for the banks, providing the banking solutions. So these banks will, they cannot create the application by themselves. So they will approach to an IT company. When they approach to an IT company, so here you will have the developers, testing people, and system administrators. Like that, you will be having so many number of different category employees are available in the IT industry. So now, when they come to the IT industry, so they will have a clear-cut meeting with the IT professionals. A meeting will be happening between this banking people and the IT people. So what this IT people will do, they will collect the requirements. So what are your requirements? So which type of application you want us to develop? So these developers will sit in the panel. So they will discuss the same thing with the IT professionals. I mean, the banking professionals. What is your requirement? What is the band throughput? How much amount of user access will be there for your application? All these things will be collected, and they also connect which type of application that I have to use, which type of language that we have to use, whether we can go with Java, Python, Ruby, .NET. These are all internally discussed, and we will say that, or else the IT people will say that, okay, so we understand. So this is what we call it as requirement gathering and analysis. We understand your requirement. You want an banking application for your bank. We will develop that application for you and provide the application for you. So if I want to provide this application, so do you have any microservices for, I mean, do you want any further services? If you see in a banking sector, we will be having different types of services are available. One is the retail banking, corporate banking, and then we will have the wallets, loans. So these are the different services are available. So the developers are going to list out all those services and they are going to develop the application. Okay, up to here it is very good. So the developers will develop the application and they will do the testing also. Unit test cases, everything will be done by the developers and the application is good to go for the testing. So before I send the application to the testing, what should happen? This application should be excuse me, this application should be installed in a server. So if the IT company is a very big company, I'm just taking an example like TCS, Infosys, Wipro, or else Cognizant, Capgemini. So like that, if your company is a very big company, then Tech Mahindra. So then what will happen for these IT companies? They will have a separate data centers. From the data center, they are going to get a server. Okay, inside this server, what you can do here is you can run that application. Okay, so this will be done by the deployment team. So there will be an application deployment team will be there. So they will do the deployment of that particular application in the server. Now, once the application is deployed in the server, the testing people, whoever are the testing people are there, they are going to test this application. So they will test the application, and if everything is going good with the application, so they will do some manual testing, automation, and everything. There are so many testings are available. So I'm not very familiar with that. So I'm not going to talk about that entirely. So we have the Selenium, load testing. So there are so many testing phases out there. Among those, they are going to check out the application is stable or not. Once the application is, it is not having any high vulnerabilities and as well as it is a proper stable application, then the testing team will provide the approval to launch the application into the production environment so that the application can be accessed by the end customers. So this is what happens actually in the background. Now, here comes the main agenda. The main agenda is that why we want to go for the cloud environment or else what we will have in the on-premises environment. So on-prem, the name itself says that on-premises. So inside the IT company, so we will have a data center. Now, what is a data center? A data center is a highly equipped location or else a place where you will have multiple number of servers, networking devices, and storage configuration. If I say there is a company and for that company you are having a data, there is a data center. So this is how the data center will be there. Inside the data center, you will be having, I'm just giving a small example, you will be having the racks. Okay. So inside the racks, you will have the physical servers. Physical servers will be there. Network equipment will be there. Storage equipment will be there. So network cables will be there. Firewalls will be there. So all are available and are connected in this racks itself. So these are the physical servers. So inside the physical servers using the virtualization technology, we are going to create the virtual machines. You can have the Red Hat Linux. One of the server is a Red Hat Linux server. The other machine will be Windows server. So like that, you can create multiple virtual machines inside the physical server. And the inside this virtual machines, you can run the applications also. So that is the actual strategy of your virtualization technology. And cloud platforms right now, whatever we call it as AWS, Azure, GCP, Oracle Cloud, Alibaba Cloud, every cloud platform is majorly evolved by using the virtualization technology only. Whatever the EC2 instances that you are creating in AWS, or else whatever the virtual machines you are creating in Azure, or else Google instances, whatever you are creating in the cloud environment, there are the virtual machines only. So inside this data center, you will have the virtual machines. Inside these virtual machines, you are going to create the applications. So some applications may be required with the Linux environment. Some might be having the Windows environment requirements. Some might be having some other requirements. Depending on the application requirements, we are going to use the operating system and the servers. So like this, you will have the multiple servers in the multiple physical servers, and you will have the multiple racks. Every rack inside the data center will be interconnected. Every rack inside the data center will be interconnected with each other. So what is going to happen if the application wants to communicate with another application or else any another database which is hosted on the another rack, it can communicate. Why? Because internally they are connected with each other. So this is how your data center will be looking like. Okay. Now, if you see, all these things are to be done by the physical person. Physically we have to do this. So if you want to purchase a server, you have to physically check out which server is required, either HP servers or else Dell servers or else IBM servers, or you want the assembled servers. So what are the physical servers that we want? We have to choose the servers depending on the requirement and as well as depending on the, what I can say that quality and all the things, we are going to select the server. So for example, if I select a server from the HP brand, and after putting an order, first of all, we need to communicate this with our internal team, and the internal team has to provide the approval. And after providing the approval, we have to get the server, and then we have to install the operating system, or else we have to at least install the virtualization inside that server. After creating the virtualization, then we need to create the virtual machines. So these are the VMs which we are going to create. Then we have to create the virtual machines, and inside that we have to run the applications. Now, to do that, it is going to take a lot of time, and as well as when we are running these servers, all the servers should be managed and monitored. So we have to monitor each and every server. Not only that, we need to check after the networking configuration also, whether all the servers are connected with each other or else they are getting the proper internet or not. Is there any problem with the server? If any server is down, so we need to get a notification. So for that, we have to put an extra effort. So here what is happening? You are in your on premises, you are responsible. The employees are responsible for the application uptime and as well as for the application downtime. So if the server is running, suddenly if the server goes down, so application will be completely down. So who is responsible for that? Why the server is down? What is the reason behind that? We should be capable to say that. So these are the main things that you are going to face in the on-premises environment. When you see here in the on-premises environment, in the IT industry, for the operations team, in the operations team, there will be several teams are there. The first one is system administrators team, who will be managing the servers, network admins, who will be managing the network, storage admins, who will be checking out the storage, whether the storage is there or else is there any, is the storage is completely filled, then we have to purchase some another storage, some extra amount of storage. Backup admins will be there, and security people will be there, security admins will be there. Now, what is the functionality of security admins? In the sense, whenever you want to run an application, every application will be running on a particular port number. So if you want to open the port number, the security admins has to provide the approval. If they don't provide the approval, you cannot open that particular port number. So that is very crucial. Why? Because we don't know which port is vulnerable and which port is not vulnerable. Developers will create the application and say that this application will be running on this particular port, it will run on this particular port number only. Then what we are going to do, the deployment team will coordinate with the security team. When the security team checks that port might be vulnerable. So when it is vulnerable, then automatically security team will say that it is not a very good thought to open this port. We are not providing the approval for this. Please ask the developer to change the port, or else please provide a proper justification why we need to run this application only on this particular port number. So that's where the delay will happen. So like that, you will be having so many number of administrators are available in the IT industry. In the operation team itself, there will be so many different types of employees out there. So this is what on-premises will do. But only the major advantage is that everything will be in your hand only. Why? Because you are the one who has created the server. You are the one who has created the network. You are the one who is managing the backups and security. So everything will be in your hands itself. So it will be very easy to reconfigure the entire infrastructure. But when you go to the cloud, so then comes the main concept called as cloud environment. Once the cloud was introduced, the requirement of all these people has been reduced. I'm not saying that the requirement has been removed or else it is overcome by the cloud. I will say that it is reduced. Still, we need to have the system admins, we need to have the network admins, we need to have the storage, backup, and security admins. But what happened here means, so the third-party cloud service providers has came into the picture, like AWS, Azure, GCP, Oracle, Alibaba Cloud, or else VMware Cloud. Like that, we got so many different types of public clouds are available. So the first type is public cloud. Coming back to the point, from the on-premises, we are switching to the cloud. The first type of cloud that was introduced is the public cloud. So the public cloud is a type of cloud where everyone can access the infrastructure of that particular cloud. Okay, so if you are having an AWS account, simply every individual can have their servers inside the cloud. If they need to, so only the one thing they need to have here is they need to have an account in the AWS, or else they need to have an account in Azure, or they need to have an account in the GCP. So then they can create their servers. So who will manage the servers? Who will manage the infrastructure? The entire infrastructure will be managed by your cloud service provider. Okay, so they are going to look after the underlying infrastructure, network, storage, servers, or else what else we have, backups. So if you want to take the backup, you can take the backups also. So everything will be taken care by your cloud environment itself. So the only thing you need to bother is which type of operating system we have to install, whether I have to install the Windows operating system, Linux operating system. On top of that, how I need to install the application. This is the only thing that you need to think after. You don't need to think about the infrastructure. You don't need to think about whether the server is running fine or not. You don't need to think about the networking infrastructure. Everything can be handled by your cloud service provider. So that's in that way, what happened here, the requirement or else the what I can say, risk has been reduced. Okay, so you don't need to monitor the physical servers every now and then. You don't need to monitor the networking. Everything will be taken care by the cloud service provider. So whoever are having an account in the public cloud, so they can create their infrastructure effortlessly, but they need to have a basic knowledge on that public cloud. So this is what one type of cloud is all about. That is a public cloud. Any questions here up to now? Is everything clear? Guys, am I clear up to this point?
Yes.
Yes, Chaitanya, yes.
Good. Now the second one is private cloud. Private cloud is nothing but having a data center, and we can have our own cloud tools. And so the simply a very big data center where the resources are not shared with any third person. So that's called as a private cloud. So for example, TCS is having its own data center. Infosys is having its own data center. IBM is having its own data center where they are not going to share their servers to any another organizations or else any other people. Those will come under the private clouds. And the next one is hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud. So in India, we have an RBI rule. Did anybody is working with the banking application? Anyone from the IT who is working with any banking application? Who are attending to this session? Okay, no problem. So there is a rule in India. What is the rule means? We cannot share our user data onto the public cloud. We cannot share our user details, or else we cannot put the databases in the cloud or in a different region. We need to have our user details or else our customer details in our private servers only. We need to have those servers in the banks itself. So that's the rule. You can have your application in the cloud, but that application should be sending the data to the database, or else I can call it as core banking database, which is created inside the bank itself. So now what is happening here? Here we need to establish a connection between the public cloud and the private cloud. I can run my application on the public cloud instances, and as well as I need to have a server in my, on-premises environment, and I need to connect that application to my on-premises environment. So for this, what AWS has came with is, they came with a solution called as AWS, hybrid cloud, or else I can call them as AWS Outpost. There is a device called as AWS Outpost is available. So you have to request for the AWS Outpost, and they will bring out an, what I can say, they will bring out a very big device, just like simply looking like a rack. So if you see, this is how the Outpost will be looking like. So this Outpost will be having the virtual VPC configuration, and everything will be there inside this Outpost, and you can connect your physical on-premises devices to your AWS environment by using this Outpost. So if you see this diagram, you will understand the configuration. Look at here. This is the AWS region, and the AWS Outpost is also under the VPC only. We will discuss what is meant by VPC and all the things. This Outpost will also come under the VPC, and you are having the local network. So whatever the servers that are available in your on-premises environment, you can connect those servers to this outpost, and these outposts are connected to your AWS environment. So now the application can be created in the cloud environment, and whatever the data that is sending by the application, that will be forwarded to your local network servers through the outpost. So this is one of the best example for your hybrid cloud. So if you see here, an outpost is a fully managed service that extends AWS infrastructure, services, APIs, and tools to customer premises. By providing the local access to the Amazon or else AWS managed infrastructure, AWS Outpost enables the customer to build and run the application on premises using the same programming interface as in the AWS regions, while using the local compute and storage resources for low latency and local data processing. So you can have your applications in your computer, in your servers, and you can integrate those applications to the AWS APIs. For example, there is an API gateway or else Lambda function is there. So in Lambda function, we can write the entire Python code, and you can have your website, web application running on your servers. You can integrate this web application with your Lambda code, and you can connect or else you can create an application. That is what they are saying. Outpost is a connection between your AWS environment to the on-premises environment. So whenever you want an outpost, you have to request the outpost. So you have to request the outpost. When you request the outpost, there will be an service engineer who is going to get that outpost for you, and he will be installing that for you. And then you can manage the outpost directly from the AWS account itself. So I'm not going to show you about this. Why? Because I don't have any proper environment to show you this outpost. But majorly, if few companies are using this outpost, so majorly they will be accessing the AWS online itself. Okay. So this is also one of the use case of your hybrid connections. Hybrid means accessing the public cloud and as well as the private cloud, and saving the data. So that is called as your hybrid cloud. These are the different types of clouds that are available in these are the different types of clouds that are available. Okay. Now, when we go to the next one, that is what are the different types of services that are provided by your cloud environment. We'll discuss about that. But before I go into that main configuration of cloud services, let us discuss about what did you understand from the entire session. Up to now, like 40 minutes has been gone. So what did you understand from the beginning to now? What are the key points that you have taken? Anyone?
Type of clouds and the on-premises difference between the clouds and on-premises servers. These are the main things which we are.
Okay. Any another person? Thank you. Okay then. So let's discuss about the cloud services. What are the different cloud services that are available? Cloud services in the sense, how cloud will manage the complete infrastructure, or else how they will provide the platform to deploy the application, or else how they will give the directly applications to us. The first one is IaaS. So infrastructure as a cloud. IaaS, infrastructure as a service. So what is this infrastructure as a service? In the infrastructure as a service, they will provide the complete infra, like the servers. They are going to provide the servers. They are going to look after, the cloud service providers are going to look after the networking, storage, everything. So infra related configuration will be looked after by your cloud service provider. But which operating system you want to use? Up to VMware virtual machines, they will take care. But inside the virtual machines, which OS should be installed? Which version of application that you want to run, whether you want to run a Java application, so you need to install Java. If you want to run an Python application, you need to install Python. That to which version? Java 17, Java 21, Python 3 or Python 2. You have to select that. Okay. which version of runtime you require, and then you need to select the application. You need to install the application and app data. So these are all the things that you have to take care. Okay, so this is the infrastructure as a service. If you see here, cloud service models, cloud service models. So here you can see, let me go here. This is the best example for what are the different types of cloud service models that you are having. So you can copy this also. Second. So you are having IA on-premises, IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS, platform as a service, PaaS. So the blue color represents the customer responsibility. Customer means the employee, whoever are the company responsibilities. So the company responsibility is that you have to look after the physical servers, infrastructure, network, virtualization, guest OS, application data, and user access and identity. Everything has to be managed by the employees itself. So in the on-premises, high amount of what I can say modifications can be done. You will be having that access of modification. Why? Because everything is available with near to the on-premises itself. So you can do the modification. But when you come to the IaaS, the modification level will be reduced. For example, let me take for example, you are constructing a home or else you are constructing a building. You are sitting near to the building and you are giving the advisors to the builders and saying that, and you are watching everything. So this particular room should be looking like this. This particular room should be looking like this. This color should be there for these rooms. And here I want this cupboard. So everything you are sitting near the building and making it happen. So then you have the choice of modifications also. Okay, but when you come to the IaaS means infrastructure as a service, where let me come back to the same building example. You have given the construction of that building to a contractor and you ask the contractor to construct the building. So you are not near the site. So the contractor will construct the building and hand over the building to you. So where you don't have that much feasibility of modifying the things, if you don't like it, you cannot modify that. Whatever the contractor has given the infrastructure, you have to use it. Here also, the infrastructure as a service, you will have the physical infra and network and virtualization. You don't have access to those layers, but you can have the guest OS, you can have the application, you can have the application data, access to application data, and user access. Which user can access the application, which user cannot access the application. These things you can manage, but you cannot manage the underlying infrastructure. That everything can be handled by the cloud service provider itself. And when you come to the platform as a service, PaaS, in the platform as a service, it is just like an service apartment. When you go to a service apartment, so the owners will hand over the keys to you and they will see the, I mean, you will have the fully furnished service apartment will be there. So you cannot modify those furniture. You cannot modify the placements of those furniture. So just you can go use it, use the furniture and come back. Okay, so that is in the same manner here also platform as a service, in the sense you will not have any authorization for the up to guest OS. So operating system will not be in your hand, but you can select the runtime. So which type of which version of runtime that will be used, whether Java 17, Java 22, or else Java Python 2, Python 3, Ruby, or else any Golang, .NET, which type of application I want to run. You can select the runtime and you can install the application on that runtime, and you can access the data of that application, and you can provide the user accessibility. This user can access the data, this user cannot access the data. You can provide that accessibility also. So that is what platform as a service. If you see IaaS, infrastructure as a service, you can get the EC2 instances. EC2 instances are the best example for IaaS as a example for IaaS, infrastructure as a service, where when we are creating the EC2 instances, I can select the infrastructure type of EC2 instance, which how much amount of CPU I require, how much amount of RAM I require, everything I can select here. And as well as which type of operating system I want, I can select here. And then in which network I have to create, I can select. Apart from that, I cannot select in which physical machine it has to create, in which data center the server has to create. I cannot select all those things. I will be able to select the operating system, runtime, those will be in my hand when you go for the IaaS. When you go to the platform as a service, that the best example for this is Elastic Beanstalk. Elastic Beanstalk is one of the application available in the AWS environment, where it will be used under the platform as a service, where we can select the runtime and then we have to deploy the application. When we go to the Elastic Beanstalk, you can understand about that. And the next one is SAS. Okay. SAS means software as a service. So now what is meant by software as a service? You won't have the authentication, or else you won't have the authorization to modify the application. So the application will be provided by the cloud service provider only, just like your Zoom application is there. So you cannot connect to that. Okay, so you cannot modify the Zoom application. For example, there is Microsoft Office 365 is there. So that is the product of Microsoft. So you can only pay to the Microsoft and you can utilize that application. If you want to, I don't want PowerPoint in that. So you cannot modify that. So I don't want Outlook in the this Microsoft stack. I don't want this what is that Outlook should be included into that. That cannot be changed. So whatever the application that is given by the company or else by the particular vendor, we have to use that application only. We cannot say that I want this modification, I want you to integrate the AI into this application. We cannot say that. So they will provide the application, we have to use the application, and then we have to pay the subscription amount. So only software as a service, in the sense it is just like an renting a hotel. So if you go for an outside for another city, so how you are going to stay in the hotel for 2 days and vacate it out. So in the same manner here also you are going to use the software and you will be paying for the software whatever you have used. You cannot have an authorization on the application. If you want to change anything, you cannot change anything on the application. So these are the 3 different types of service models that are available. So the best, we are going with the infrastructure as a service in the beginning, and then we can go with the PaaS and SAS also. So that's about the different service models that are available. And yeah. So that's about the topic which I want to discuss. And tomorrow we will be discussing about the topic that is related to networking. What is networking? What is subnetting? These are all the things that we will discuss. In which ways, before tomorrow's session, please try to go through the binary to decimal number conversion, decimal to binary number conversion. That will be very helpful whenever I am telling you about the IP addressing concept. I'm not going very deep into the networking, like discussing about the OSI reference model, networking devices like router, switches. This is not my agenda. Why? Because we are into the cloud environment. We need to understand what is cloud and how cloud will be there. What are the different services that are available in the cloud? So networking, you just need to go through the basic concept of OSI reference model. And then I will take you through the IP addressing. What are the different types of IP addresses that are available and how we can create a subnets. So that I will tell you. But apart from that, go through the Linux ones, and then we will connect on Monday and start working with the AWS environment. But before that, create an AWS account so that we can work with the AWS services. Okay. So any questions apart from this? Any questions, guys?
Is the class time fixed?
Yeah, it's a fixed time, 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. in the evening.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, IST 6 p.m. Okay, Dilip, Abhishek, Veer Singh Raje.
No, Chaitanya from my side.
No.
Okay, good. Then we will meet in the next session and discuss about the further concepts of AWS, and we will dive into, from Monday onwards, we will dive into the AWS environment. So have a nice day and we'll meet in the next session, guys. Bye. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.